Hello, Pauline Rowe here, and this is our final introductory video on life writing. And what we're going to think about today is the life of objects and how they can help us in our writing about our own lives and experience. And I want to share with you the very famous quote from the American modernist poet William Carlos Williams, when he said, "No ideas but in things." And the idea behind this is that we can consider the world, we can consider ourselves and experience through objects. It moves us away from abstractions and conceptual thinking, and can be a way of bringing things vividly to life. So perhaps you can have a quick look around your room or where you're sitting now and have a look at the objects that surround you. Maybe I can see immediately there's a radio in the corner, there's a clock over there, a paperweight, a candle, books, all sorts of different objects surrounding me. Now, what I would like you to do for the warm-up exercise that we're going to do is look around and find something to write about. Just anything that looks interesting or something to hand. Think about, what is it? Does it have a name? So this, for me, this is a paperweight. So paperweight, I would start maybe thinking about that. Can you describe the object through the senses? What does it look like? What can you see of it? Does it have a taste or a smell? What texture is it? What does it feel like? Does it make any noise? Paperweights don't make noise, not unless you throw them at something. How long have you had the object? Is it something that is just there that is recent, or is it an empty cup from having a cup of tea? Does it link with any memories? Okay, so just a couple of minutes. Get your pen, find your pen, and get your pencil and your paper, and you're going to put the object in front of you and just take a few minutes to write about it. Okay, so get going, I'll tell you when to stop. Okay, so just stop writing. That's just to remind you of the warm-up technique. As it is with physical exercise, it's also very important with writing. You can get your pen on paper, even if it's just writing lists or ideas, that's fine. Okay. Now, I didn't write anything in a flowing or fluent way about this subject. It's a glass ball, it's a paperweight. It was something that I just jotted down, associations, ideas, that it's a little bit like a small crystal ball. That it was a recycled gift. Somebody in my family had been given it and passed it on to me because of my writing, thinking I could make use of a paperweight. No smell. Lovely smooth glass, intriguing form with bubbles inside, and it made me think about the maker who has made this object. How have they been able to construct it so beautifully, so in a perfect sphere, and yet with that flat bottom so that it rests as a paperweight? So whatever your chosen object, it should have sparked some ideas, or thinking about writing through the senses, or maybe it was a memory mainly you wrote through. Okay, I want to share something with you. As we do, we find really lovely examples of published writers that can help us think about our subject. And the writer I'm going to start with today for the extract is Jean Sprackland. She's a poet and an essayist, and she wrote this beautiful book, Strands, A Year of Discoveries on the Beach. And I'm going to share with you a particular extract, and you'll see why, when I'm encouraging you to think about objects, why this is such a useful piece of writing. She writes as follows. The sea is a notoriously powerful destructive force. Many of the things washed up on beaches are proof of it. They lie scoured, mangled and torn, destroyed or transfigured by the violent journeys they've made. A high sea can break a boat in pieces, smash sea defences, drag a child off a harbour wall. How miraculous, then, to find something as delicate as a china cup here. I'm walking on the beach. The morning after a storm has stretched the sand, smooth as a tablecloth. And here in the placid sunshine is a cup, resting modestly on its side, as though it has been knocked over by a careless elbow when someone reached across to pour the tea. It's white with an old-fashioned design around the edge. There's a chip with a hairline crack running diagonally down the side and a small patch of discoloration. The inside is lightly encrusted with sand, like coffee grounds. When I turn it over, I find the Ridgeway potteries mark underneath and an emblem, only very slightly rubbed away. It shows a lion wearing a crown and bearing a globe in its paws. Along with the legend, the Cunard Steamship Company Limited. Cautiously, I look up and down the beach. I'm in the habit of picking up odd bits and pieces and taking them home. But this is different. This is a desirable object. I feel like a shoplifter. And how surprising is that? Jean Sprackland recorded over 12 months the finds that she came across on Ainsdale Beach. And if we think about our own walks and journeys, we may walk on common land or through the woods, or we may walk on a beach. Think how often you may see things on the ground or pick things up, especially those objects brought in by the sea. Okay, so we're going to... It's a good way of thinking about objects. You know, and the sea could bring in something intriguing. It could bring in something expected, like a piece of driftwood. But that Cunard cup, you know, that's intriguing. For a brief writing exercise now, I want you to jot down some notes and ideas about finding an unexpected domestic object on the beach or in the garden, somewhere unexpected. But I like Jean Sprackland's idea of the beach, so we'll stick with that. You might want to put together something from your own experience of place alongside the object. So it might be an object you're familiar with in your home, but I want you to think about it as if you've discovered it on the beach. So you are writing about it with new eyes, as if you've just discovered it. And when I say about place, it may be that you're familiar with a particular beach, or you went to a particular place regularly when you were a child, or now. So think about the object and the place, and I want you to describe what you can see as objectively and simply as you can. Okay? So just a 5-minute writing now on your object from the beach. Make it a real object, even if you no longer have it. It might be a lovely pen you had from childhood. It might be a remembered posh porcelain plate. It could be an ornament. It might be something completely different. But I want you to concentrate on that object and the physical details and the colour and the sensual aspects of it. Okay, so get writing now for a few minutes. I'll tell you when to stop. Okay. right? So hopefully you've got the beginnings, a little gem of an idea. I don't expect you to have developed it and written it now, but you may have had a spark about what you want to write about. Okay, so just put that to one side. My object that came to mind was a little leather Florentine box, and it was a gift a friend gave to me. It'd been hers, it belonged to her. She's died now. But it's quite damaged, and all the embossing, it's only a little object, but the embossed marks, little flowers on the top, have kind of worn away with time. And it started me thinking about that friendship, actually. And sometimes, if I opened the box, what of the friendship would be there? And the box is empty. So again, I've not written, just ideas of place, of something of secrets, of emptiness, of absence. I don't know, but it started me thinking about that little object. I'm not sure where it is. It's here somewhere. Maybe I should find it and have a good look at it, because I was jotting ideas down, thinking of the object, and there's nothing better than actually having something physically in front of you to write precisely about. Okay. Now there's another extract I want to share with you, which I think is a great little piece for thinking about gifts as objects, and it's from the Letters of Sylvia Plath. And it's from October 1960, and she's writing about the gifts she's received for her birthday. So I'll just share this with you, see what you think of it. Dear Mother, I think this birthday has been the best of all. I woke yesterday morning to find myself surrounded by interesting knobbly brown parcels, a German coffee cake with a candle lit in the middle of it, and Frida sitting at my side, supported by Ted, holding the morning's mail and a bar of my favourite German chocolate. Ted really knocked himself out. I have a new badly needed pair of red plush slippers lined with white fuzzy wool, 2 pairs of plastic overshoes, one for heels, as Ted wanted me to have something easily carried about for this showery London weather, a Fortnum and Mason chicken pie, our standby for special occasions, a bottle of pink champagne, the Tolkien trilogy, Lord of the Rings, adult version and extension of Our Beloved Hobbit, and 3 wonderful slabs of strange cheeses for us to test, a gooey ripe brie, a superbly mouldy blue Stilton, and a fat round Wensleydale in a cloth sack all of its own. I loved the cards and letters from you and Warren. I consider the load of pyjamas for Frida my present from you. I'd so much rather get something for her. Isn't that great? I mean, that's 60 years ago, but what a vivid kind of depiction of objects of gifts. And I like the way that they're gifts, but also temporal things. All those items of food, that's Fortnum and Mason pie as a standby. And don't we all have that? I mean, that's a little spark of something else. It gives us insight into their life together. So the idea, it got me thinking about the idea of gifts as something interesting, an interesting way to write about objects and life experience. So just a few minutes now to jot down some notes. I want you to think about 5 or 6 gifts that you've received, either for birthdays, Christmas, or some special occasion. It'd be better if they're gifts that you've received at different times and for different reasons, okay? So you don't have to write a full account of a birthday unless you want to, unless there's a particularly vivid birthday. But take a few minutes just to think, to jot down a few gifts, okay? Maybe from different times. Okay, all right. Don't worry if you've only got 2 or 3, or you can only think of one, that's fine. No problem at all. Because it's going to help you think about your prompt. What I want you to work on from today and from these ideas is a more considered piece of writing. Okay, I was just thinking about the gifts. I came up with 4 completely different things. One of which was a Christmas present I got as a child, and it was a ventriloquist dummy called Mr. Pauline, and it terrified me. What possessed my mum and dad to get me this thing? But just having the thought of it in my mind, I think, oh, I've never written about that. You know, that's something interesting. And I remember as well when I was 18, a close friend got me the most beautiful pen. I don't have it anymore, but I had like a tortoise shell veneer. It was a platinum. It was a beautiful pen, fountain pen. And the other thing was a book. My principal at my sixth form college got me the most lovely edition of Shakespeare's sonnets. It starts immediately. Immediately you start thinking of gifts. Even a few things, you know, it links with relationships. I think that's what's the useful thing about it, and maybe into memory in different times. So what I would like you to do for the task, your writing task now, following this video, is write in more detail about 3 gifts. Choose ones that use 3, and I want you to think about them representing different experiences, different relationships, and no more than 150 words per each object, each gift. And that's not easy. So part of this is thinking about editing as well. You might write an awful lot more than 150 words, but I want you to edit it down so that when you've got your 3 objects, per item you've got 150 words. Remember, be concise, be specific, surprise, go with the surprising elements of what you write, and observe closely. Think about the physical detail and description of the gift, and do your best to use clear and simple language. And this is a way of trying to let the object convey emotion, or the object tell the story of memory. Okay, so that's it for today. And again, to remind you of that no ideas but in things, which I always find a helpful little mantra, although it was relating to poetry, but it's still helpful. And if you manage to do your piece and write your 450 words all together, please feel free to share them with me and send your writing to me at paulinewriter@gmail.com. And as usual with our Life Rooms little films, there is a study sheet, an information sheet to go with this film, and it should give you a bit of space and time to have a look at the extracts that I've shared with you, and also some notes on the exercises that we've done. So happy writing, and keep at it. Okay, thank you.